Hey guys, so in this video we're going to be sharing with you some of our best tips and tricks on how you can get more wins in FUT Champions. Now we've already covered videos on easier matchmaking and how you can actually improve, so be sure to check those out before continuing to watch this video. Now there's a lot of things that you can do to give yourself a better chance or put you in better situations to win more games, and we'll also share some of the things that you might already be doing that are hindering you. So as always, to show your support, please hit the like button, subscribe, but most importantly, hit the notifications bell so that you know exactly when new content is released. So going into tip number 1, and it is to make sure that you have the best team you can possibly build. Now, if you've seen our How to Get Better video, you'll know that team does not make all the difference, but it certainly does have an impact on how well you can play. Taking ourselves as an example, in the first 2 weekend leagues this year, we had a severely underpowered team. When everyone was using Haaland's and Neymar's up front, we still had Araujo's and Joe Gomez to try and defend them, and naturally we struggled. But since then, we've upgraded our team significantly and got our hands on some better players, and we've been smashing 90% of the people that we play, whether it be in champs, Division 1 rivals, or friendlies. And one thing to say about teams is that the more skilled you are as a player, the less relevant having a quote-unquote meta team is. We've all seen examples of pro players taking bronze teams 20-0 and things like that, and this is because their skill can take any team very, very far. Now for us, we love Lewandowski in FIFA, so we went and got him. Now it's only been 11 games so far, but 23 goals is incredible, and that is all in Division 1 rivals, which is insane for a non-meta striker. So to sum up, a more meta team is relevant if you are of lower skill and vice versa. However, we do still advise trying to get the best team that you can build, as this is going to give you the best chance in every game you play in every game mode. Secondly, you really need to have 4 solid game plans on your tactics board that you can implement at any one time during a game. What this means is you don't just go into a game with your starting tactic and formation and just play with it the whole game regardless of the situation. So for example, if you're 2-0 down in a game, you need to have a tactic where you have a high pressure, aggressive, and taking risks tactic because you need to get back into the game. And likewise, if you are 2-0 up in a game, you need to have a game plan and formation where you can switch into where you're more compact and in a position where you can defend a lead. And we see and play against a lot of people who don't take this side of the game seriously, or they don't know how to properly manage games. We score 1 goal in like the 15th minute, for example, and then they'll go all out attack straight away, and then by 30 minutes we're 3-0 up, and then they rage quit. Now you might think that this is insignificant, but especially in those tight, intense games, when you're going for those higher wins, these things matter a lot. Our third tip is to make sure that you have reliable and impactful super subs. And again, this is something that we see a lot of people neglect. And we've had countless games already this year where we brought on super subs such as Rulebreaker Insigne or Gakpo, and they've saved as a result or completely turned the game around for us. Now you might be thinking, why are super subs so important? The reason for us is because of our playstyle. We play heavily on the front foot, and especially in our 4-2-2 formation, we use direct passing. And this means that a lot of our players do a lot of running, especially in behind the defense, so they get tired. And generally around the 60-minute mark, our players are knackered and cannot sprint anymore. But because our opponent's defenders are also tired as well, because they've had to run and cover our players. So bringing on the likes of Gakpo and Insigne can make all the difference against those tired defenders. But also just bringing on different players and maybe changing formation at halftime, changing things up has often brought results. So we advise that you have some good super subs that can really change the game for you. So now before we continue, if you want us to make more videos like this, make sure that you hit the thumbs up button and make sure you comment below right now with your questions and thoughts on what other videos you'd like us to cover going forwards. So let's get back into that 4th tip. Our 4th tip is to only play when you're in a good headspace. And as we've talked about in a previous video, mentality is very important in FIFA. You can't really be going into games if you're not in the right frame of mind, because any slight little thing that doesn't go right and goes against you, you'll be off on one and your head will be gone and you won't be in on the game anymore. So for whatever reason, if you're just not quite in the right mindset, you need to not play until you are. If you're really keen on winning more games and you just think, oh, it'll be alright, it's only 1 game, I guarantee you'll go into that game, you'll lose, and then it will spiral from there, and you'll finish the weekend 5-15, and you'll wonder where it all went wrong. And trust us on this, because we've been there and we've done it. Now following on from the last tip, and this is to not play after taking a loss. So for example, if you lose a game, we always advise taking a 10 to 20 minute break. Now why is this? Again, it comes back to mentality. So let's say you've just lost in the 90th minute 2-1 to a really unlucky goal. You tackle your opponent perfectly and the ball bounces back to them and then they go and score. And of course that sucks. It's incredibly unlucky. Now you're going to be angry, and as you should be, and we would be too. But if you just jump straight into another game going, I want to get that one back and then I'll take a break, you're going to be taking all that rage and all that anger into the next game, and we guarantee you always lose. And again, we've been there and done it. And before you know it, you've lost 4 in a row and ruined your weekend league. But also you may actually ruin your actual weekend just by being in a bad mood, which isn't fun for our families, girlfriends, wives, kids, whoever it may be. It's not fair to have a bad mood for them. So after every loss, if possible, try and take a 10 to 20 minute break, get up, walk away from FIFA, cool off, and make sure that you're calm and have moved on and not taking any of those negative thoughts into your next game. Now, if you can do this, you'll see a dramatic improvement in your results, especially in the weekend league. And for us, this was the biggest hurdle to overcome. But now that we have, it's one of the biggest reasons why we get a much better score than we used to. And our last tip is to abuse the meta. Now, we like to play good football, but if you're someone who only cares about winning and doing whatever needs to be done in order to win more games and get the highest score that you can, then abusing the meta is a must. The better you can be at this, the more success you'll have in any FIFA. Just look at pro players. Of course, they're incredibly skilled at the game, but the reason why they're at the top is because they are better at abusing the broken game mechanics and meta the best, not because they play pretty and lovely football. So whether that be abusing lengthy players, pace, over the top through balls, trivela shots or outside of the foot shots for people who don't know what that means, broken direct corner techniques, the more of these things that you have in your bag of tricks and you can pull them out in certain occasions and scenarios, that will give you the slight edge in those tight games. Now this also links back to what we said at the beginning about meta players. In those tight games when you just can't be separated between you and your opponent, having those elite level meta players or that trivela shot might be the difference between winning and losing those tight games. So that's it for our best tips and how you can win more games in FIFA. A lot of these things are things that anyone can do, but more importantly, do straight away. Now, ultimately, it's important to remember that FIFA is just a game for fun. And of course, we want to compete and do well, but you also need to not take it too seriously and it becomes something that makes you unhappy. So as we said earlier in the video, if you want us to continue to make more videos like this, then we do need your support. So be sure to smash the like button, subscribe, and turn on that notifications bell. And also right now, go to the comments and let us know what topics and videos you want us to cover next, as we always read the comments to decide what videos to create next. And if you have any questions that you want to ask, make sure you join our Discord if you want to personally ask us any questions, because we love being able to help out as many of you guys as possible. The links to all the socials are in the description. So thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.